The Jaguar XKSS was a road-friendly version of the Jaguar D-Type race car. It was originally built in 1957 and looks somewhat like a precursor to the Jaguar E-Type. Only 16 of these cars were made over 50 years ago, out of a scheduled 25, and the final 9 were built and launched in 2016, built to the exact specifications of the originals. The car came about after a few completed D-Types were unsold following the 1956 racing season. Sir William Lyons of Jaguar decided to convert the cars to be road legal in an attempt to exploit the American market, which was heavily into high-performance European cars. It's based off of the Jaguar D-Type race car and came about as a result of Jaguar pulling out of competitive motorsports at the time, said Barozzi, a spokesman for CarSumo. This car was popularized by iconic actor Steve McQueen, who bought one for $5,000 in 1958 and was seen driving it around all over Los Angeles. According to Jalopnik, his XKSS is worth an estimated $30 million, mainly because of who owned it. But if you have one of the original XKSS models, Jalopnik expects you could fetch $1.50 to $1.6 million for it. The Pagani Huayra, pronounced Huayra, is an Italian mid-engine supercar that was produced between 2012 and 2018, first as a roadster, and then as the BC model. The car succeeded Pagani's previous car, the Zonda, and had an original price tag of €850,000. It's named after an Incan wind god, and was named the Hypercar of the Year 2012 by Top Gear magazine, and was tested and praised very highly by Richard Hammond from the show. The Huayra was limited to just a 100-unit run, and the car sold out on February 11, 2015. Pagani had an agreement with engine maker Mercedes-AMG to only produce 100. The car runs on a massive hand-built, twin-turbo, V12 engine developed specially for it by Mercedes-AMG. It's a 6.0-liter engine and produces 720 horsepower, allowing a top speed of 238 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 acceleration time of just 2.8 seconds. The BC is a track-focused version of the car that was named after Horatio Pagani's late friend, Benny Caiola. It's built from a new material called carbon triax, which Pagani claims is 50% lighter and 20% stronger than regular carbon fiber. Only 20 were produced, with a price tag of €2.1 million, or about $2,500,000, and an improved V12 engine that gives it 745 horsepower. The Pagani Zonda, as previously mentioned, was the car preceding the Huayra. It's a mid-engine supercar that debuted in 1999, and production ended in 2018 after the release of the Zonda HP Barchetta. Other commemorative specials were released that same year, including this, the Revolution. Only 135 Zondas have been built since 2009, both as coupes and roadsters, and the third variant, the Barchetta. Most of the engineering for the Zonda was done by former Formula One champion Juan Manuel Fangio. Zonda is a regional term for an air current above Argentina. The Zonda Revolution is a special, final version of the car that was released only to special clients and family members, during Vanishing Point 2013, the International Pagani Gathering. Mercedes-AMG developed the engine, a 6.0-liter V12 that produced 789 horsepower and an X-Track 672 6-speed transversal and sequential gearbox that could change gears in 20 milliseconds. The Revolution also features DRS, drag reduction system, and 2 different operating modes, one that's available with a minimum speed of 62 miles per hour, and another that changes the rear wing, switching the maximum and minimum downforce settings. Only 5 of these cars were built, and they were priced at €2.2 million before taxes, or around $2,620,000. The Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale. Stradale is Italian for road going, was an Italian sports car built between 1967 and 1969. Only 18 of the cars were built. As the name indicates, it is a street-legal version of a racing car, in this case the Auto Delta Alfa Romeo Tipo 33 sports prototype. The car was featured in the 1969 Italian movie Un Bellissimo Novembre. The car was built alongside the race car prototype, in the same garage, by Franco Scaglione. The car was unveiled at the Sports Car Show in Monza, Italy, in 1967, and the prototype was sold to a private gallery, Gallery Albart, in Japan. The engine produced was a 2.0-liter V8 that featured Spica fuel injection, 4 ignition coils, and 16 spark plugs. It was specially built for this car. It gave the Stradale a top speed of 160 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 time of 5.5 seconds, which wasn't bad for 1967. According to Alfa Romeo, this car's original launch price was 10 million Italian lira, which was about $6,150 at the time. Estimates for this car now sit at around $3 million and above, and Barazzi of Carsumo thinks that, because they so rarely are shown at auction, the price could be much higher than that $3 million estimate. The Oldsmobile F88 was a dream car built in 1954, with the initial sketches drawn by Bill Lang. It was built on the chassis of a Chevrolet Corvette, and used the same 102-inch wheelbase, and the body was built of fiberglass. The car used a 5.3-liter Super 88 V8 engine with a 4-barrel carburetor, giving it up to 250 horsepower, and a Corvette-derived rear axle. The instrument panel on the car was later used on the Cutlass. Many people believe that the F88 was the car that changed the style of cars for the new, upcoming era. In 2005 the car was sold at the Barrett-Jackson collector car auction to John and Maureen Hendricks for $3.24 million, and it's now on display with its own showroom at the Gateway Colorado Automobile Museum. Rumors abound that a second F88 was built and met a grisly death during a fire between display shows. But those rumors are unfounded. Either way, this is not your typical Oldsmobile, as you can tell by its sleek, golden body and pristine condition. We doubt this thing even got driven around, as who would want to mess up a thing of beauty like this? The F88 is an example of car manufacturing transcending to art. The Ferrari F40 is a classic body style from Ferrari, a mid-engined, rear-wheel drive sports car that was built between 1987 and 1992. There were 2 versions of this car available, the LM and the GT race car. The F40 was the successor to the Ferrari 288 GTO, designed to celebrate the company's 40th anniversary. It was the last car design personally approved by the late, great Enzo Ferrari. It was also Ferrari's fastest, most powerful, and most expensive car at the time, with a suggested retail price of $400,000, around $860,000 today, a twin-turbocharged V8 giving it 471 horsepower, giving it a top speed of 199 miles per hour. One of the original 1,311 produced sold to Formula One driver Nigel Mansell in 1990 for £1 million, a record that held until the 2010s. Of the 1,311 F40s made, only 19 of them were F40 LMs, according to Sotheby's. According to GT Spirit, a 1994 F40 LM was expected to sell for between $2 to $2.5 million, but it ended up going for $3.3 million. The F40 LM was featured in a number of races, debuting at the 1989 Laguna Seca Raceway in the GTO category. In 1995 the car won the 4 Hours of Endurance Tour race, but then retired in 1996 after it wasn't competitive against the newly entered McLaren F1 GTR.
1, 2, 3, come on! Come on!